All right, so you can see that these nations are able to supply goods and make large amounts of money of it. And they're making, and you better believe, as I just read, these companies are making billions and billions of dollars. So when America's all said and done, where's that money? Where are they gonna get that money from? Where are they gonna get that income from? They're not gonna get it. All right. So that's what's gonna take place. So all of these other nations that live deliciously with her, they're gonna be well known her because of the money that they were making. So let's read that.
And it says, I read verse 10 again, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Right, so it says for 1 hour is thy judgment come, because America's going to be destroyed very well soon. It took 250 years to reach to the level that it was at, just so it can be destroyed in 1 hour.
That's right.
Check that out. Go on, bro.
And it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Right, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. Ain't nobody gonna buy no merchandise anymore. Because it's not gonna be inhabited. It's gonna be holy desolate. Okay? And this Negro, he's gonna be in the spiritual realm real soon. That's
right.
You've spoken to him before.
What's that, bro?
You've spoken to him before. Before he went that way, he's gone a bit worse.
Yeah, he's bugged out, man. God lost his head. Go on.
And it says,
but that's what happens when you smoke that. When you're smoking weed, it fucks your head up, man.
And it says,
you know, they promote it in the media like it's cool and it's the thing to do, but that's the result. It messes up your head, man. Go on, bro.
Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen.
Right, because they also supply expensive resources, like there was gemstones, gold, and all kind of metals are being exported towards America, and they're making money off that shit. All right, cars as well. You got a lot of Japanese companies that are actually selling their cars inside of America. They're actually making Japanese cars because they got on bases set up where they got jobs where you have American workers working under these Japanese car companies like Honda, Toyota, and the likes. And you better believe that money is going back to boost their economy. You know what I'm saying? So they get paid, man. They get paid. Like I did a little bit of research on it too. You have 840,000 workers, American workers that are working for these Japanese companies. So not only are they importing goods, exporting goods towards America is what I'm supposed to be. It's what I meant. They actually have jobs that are in America.
Get it now. You get it.
All right, so you gotta amalgamate the amount of money they're making. It's a lot of money. Go on, bro.
So Revelation 18 and 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Right, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, because it's not going to be nothing there to buy or sell. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly why they're going to be well, and they're going to be in a state of great perplexity and confusion, because they've been living good for a very long time. As it says, they've been living deliciously with them. Even these importer ship companies, how much money they making? They making a killing too. All right. So when those billions and billions of dollars are stopped, what do you think the mindset of these people are gonna be? They're gonna be in shit, man. And the most shocking thing and the most upsetting thing and the most threatening thing is to be worth billions and to be making billions of dollars or pounds, and then so you can result to being poor again. Okay, that's a frightening thing to know that's gonna happen. And also what they don't know is that these same nations that live deliciously with America, right, by providing them goods, they're gonna go into slavery.
Right.
So the Most High's gonna put these nations where they need to be, and these nations are gonna be in a world of hurt, man, emotionally and physically. Go on, bro.
Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet,
right,
and all thine wood, yes, fine wood,
yep,
and all manner of vessels of ivory,
And you know too, when you, it's like, for example, if you go inside your average store doesn't actually hoard the stuff that comes from its country. Most of the goods are coming from different countries, especially down here in England. If you look at the brown sugar or your bag of goods or your box of goods, where is it coming from? It's coming from another country, and that's how these other nations are making money. And it's like that in America too. Most of your bananas and your apples probably go all the way back to Mexico. I mean, some stuff are made from America, but most of the goods that's sold in these stores are coming from like places like Mexico or different parts of South Central America. Okay, and that's how they make their money again. And then you have the Japanese, they're providing their cars. The Chinese, they're providing their resources, selling their resources to America. All right, but that's all going to be dead when America's destroyed. Go on, brother.
And all manners of vessels of most precious wood, and brass and iron and marble.
Right, and brass and iron and marble. Metals. Go on, bro.
And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense.
Right, and frankincense. You got a lot of, and you know what too, if you want to get anything of any sort, just go to America, man. Just go there. You wanna, it's like, for example, if there's a kind of hat that you want, they may not make the hat down here, but they got it in America. They got everything up there. Everything that you want of some kind of sort, they got it over there. Because that's the line of consumerism, and these nations know that. And this is why they sell their goods to make a killing. And this is why you have other nations on a small level. I'm talking about, you know, the mediocres amongst the people. What they'll do is they'll go to America, make their money, and then go back to their own country with the money in hand. Okay? Go on, brother. All right.
This is from worldatlas.com, and it says the United States is currently recognized as the world's biggest national economy.
Exactly. Yeah.
It says their currency, the US dollar, is one of the most utilized global transaction, as well as the most. There's something else. It says their currency, the US dollar, is one of the most utilized in the global transaction, as well as the world's most reserve currency.
And they have to use this currency because the currency of America is much more powerful, and that's how they're able to exponentially make their wealth as well. Because you got certain countries that have a weakened currency, but if they were to use the American currency, they'll be rich overnight, depending on the amount of money that they're getting from using American dollar. Go on, bro.
Because the US dollar is the one is the accepted currency to use among, because every nation have their own currency. So the other nations don't trade with each other using their own currency. What they use is the dollar.
Exactly.
The dollar is the one that can go in between all these different currencies. Like African countries to trade with China, they'll use American dollars to buy and sell each other goods.
Okay.
Because the US dollar can be used in any of those countries. It's the accepted
Currency.
world currency, pretty much. So it's called the petrodollar. You know?
Yeah, the petrodollar.
And that's different currencies. Different countries, they don't use their own currency to trade, buy oil and everything. For you to go to Saudi Arabia, you take US dollars to buy oil from Saudi Arabia. You know, that's the accepted currency. But other nations, they're trying to pretty much back away from the American dollar and use a different currency instead, because they're saying the dollar is not really backed by anything. You know, that's why America is constantly ready to go to war.
Right.
Any country that doesn't want to use the dollar, man.
Yeah, because what it is, they have to uphold their currency. Because what it is if America can keep the currency where it's at, then that's where they want it to be. It'll be the superior currency, so to speak. Therefore, obviously, they'll become more richer in that situation. Okay. So that's why, like the brother was saying, that's why you have a nuclear war that's brewing, especially amongst the countries that are not playing ball. All right, so to speak. Anyway, brother, you read that.
It says, well, even the very same RFID microchips that they're gonna chip the masses with, they're made in China. Frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour. So it's like Revelation 18 and 13,
Yeah.
and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense,
Yeah.
and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots.
So even animals are so that would make sense because people eat beef, people eat all kind, people eat pork and all of that other stuff. So they'll even sell their dainties to America. All right. So that go on, brother. Be that.
Yeah, because there is no a lot of animals are native to America, man. A lot of animals have to be brought in from other countries to the Americas.
Yeah.
Prior to the import, they were never really found on that land there. I believe some horses, what you call that horse?
Pony.
There's so many different
Yeah.
horses, man.
There's another one, I think a car is named after it. Mustang, yeah. I think that's not native to America. I think that was imported in, yeah. So a lot of animals were imported into America, yeah.
Again, it all ties back to prophecy. So John the Revelator, when he was in the island of Patmos, if I'm correct, which was around the first century AD, around 98, 99 AD, he had all of these visions of this particular empire that was known as Babylon the Great, and he specifically spoke about what was going to take place with the Spirit of the Lord, so that when we read these things now, we can now see these things and what he's saying because we're living in that time. Okay, go on, brother, and it's clear. So it's very well evident that America is Babylon the Great,
That's right.
which will go into perdition and be destroyed. Go on, brother.
And horses, and chariots.
And also cars, like I said, going back to Japan and even also England and different European cars and stuff like that are also sold to America. Like for example, you have Porsche, you have you have Lamborghini, you have BMW, Volkswagen, Audis. These are cars coming from the European side. And then you got the Japanese cars, Honda, Toyota, Suzuki, Mitsubishi, and the likes. What's that, brother? And Nissan, Kawasaki. It goes on and on and on. Kawasaki, and even the bikes are sold. So they're making money. All these companies that's coming from Japan or different parts of the world outside of America, they're making money by selling their goods, exporting their goods to America.
Save it if I can.
All right.
And then I show
So
the
go on, brother.
evidence to the.
So that's how the nations have
the only
lived
good thing
deliciously
is they use
with
their
her.
kidneys and livers.
Go on, brother.
And slaves and souls of men.
And slaves and souls of men. What are your slaves and your souls of men? Those that have jobs, those that have been employed. Because you always had slaves that always constructed or maintained the build of this kingdom or a kingdom. Now, if you have an amalgamation of people that stop working today, guess what? The economy would stop. Everything would stop. So you need slaves to keep the kingdom going. As in our kingdom, when the kingdom of heaven is set up, we're going to have slaves. We're going to have a gazillion amount of slaves.
Right.
Okay? And they're going to build the kingdom, and they're also going to keep the kingdom going and going. There's your economy going, brother.
And the fruit, verse 14, and the fruit that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee.
Right, and the fruits that thou soul lusted after shall depart from thee. So everything's going to be totally gone. And all of the dainty things that these rich individuals have gotten and desired is going to be gone. It's going to be no more. You know what I'm saying? That's where all of the issues is going to lead up to. And I'm talking about the global issues that we hear about time in and time out. It's all going to lead to this situation. Going back to what I was saying earlier before, when we deal with prophecy, we're dealing with current events that cannot be altered. Okay? Now, people I'm going to go back and say the same thing. People may go out and protest, and they may have their own little views. They want to exercise their views so they can then stop a certain current event from taking place. But if this current event is prophesied to happen, it's going to happen regardless. This is already written. The writing is already on the wall. Okay? And this is why we can confidently say out here that World War III is definitively going to happen. Why is
That's right.
Because it's written, and also we see it happening nowadays. Okay? And it can't be stopped. Go on, brother.
So like, if you look at the biggest importers in the world, I've got the list here.
they're saying America imports more than all the EU nations to provide together, man.
Absolutely.
So America imports more than the whole Europe. We are buying together, man. America is still at the top, man. So America is the biggest consumer in the planet, man.
Exactly.
That's why every time a leader or a president comes into power, the first thing that they do is they go and see the president of America. Every time there's a leader, the first thing that they do is they go to the White House, to maintain that relationship between that country and America. Why? Because America, through their imports, makes all these countries rich.
Yeah.
You see?
Absolutely.
So each country, if you look at their imports records, majority of the times you're gonna find that their biggest, the biggest country that they export to, you find is America, man.
Yeah.
That's the country that makes them the most money.
Exactly. Because why? Because Americans consume. Now, if you've lived in America like I have lived in America, and me being simple, I used to watch a lot of TV programs and other things, as you do. When you're simple, you watch strange TV programs that don't teach nothing. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? And just by watching anything, you have a hell of a lot of commercials that's being pushed out in American media. It's a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
Because that's the condition of minds of the American people to be consumers.
I noticed that, man. Sometimes I'm watching football, and then I'll we'll be showing in America. I'll go on the links. You find all different kind of links. Every single fucking time, man. The game is on, and on the corner there, they have some damn advert.
Yeah.
The game, try to watch Formula 1, and then they'll cut it off, and then they start playing some advert for 5 minutes, and then bring it back, and you miss the whole, constant, man.
Yep. And it's like every 20 minutes they put an advert.
And them adverts are damn down, man. Like you can tell that they're advertising to people that are not smart at all. The way them American adverts are like.
Yeah, I noticed most of them adverts are medication. These different tablets, and they can't even the names you can't even pronounce them.
Erectile dysfunctions. What else? What's that? The one, the depression one. Prozac. That's the one. That one. Quite exciting.
I know. I was going to say the biggest advertising slots out of everything is the Super Bowl. So if you can get an advert on during the Super Bowl, everybody's going to be watching it. So that's the way they do it.
I heard it costs about 3 million for about 30 seconds of an advert.
Yeah.
Because they're still lining up to advertise, man.
It's the same with the magazines as well. If you compare the American magazine to a UK magazine, the American magazine's got more adverts than the UK one.
Yes. Yep. And that's one thing that I've actually forgotten about. But since the Spirit has got me speaking about this, that's come to my mind because in America, if you watch TV in general, any kind of TV programs, all they're promoting is all kind of adverts of different products that they're gonna sell. And that's just the condition of minds of the people that watch these television shows to go out and buy something.
Yeah.
Simply so that these companies can make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Okay? Is what you call a business technique that they've used.
And the brother read horses and chariots, man. American, they're always advertising some car, man.
Yep.
Always some type of new car. This car
comes out. Yep.
So much space in this kind of car, brother.
Exactly, brother. Now you bring me back to when I was a kid now. Because that's what they would promote. They would promote these new cars or new shoes. Let's say a new pair of Jordans came out. Man, they'll put that on blast on TV. Any kind of shoe, and it could be a low value shoe. They're gonna promote it to the max. Just as so simple, you gotta go and buy it. All right. So they can make their money. And that's why even if you look at these fast food processed restaurants like McDonald's, if you notice they put chemicals in the food to make it taste better so you can keep going back for more and more. So that they can keep making billions of dollars as they're making. Okay?
Yeah.
Go on, brother. And these other nations, and like the brother was saying, like Japan sells its cars and they always promote the new cars that come out, coming from Japan. Or their own cars. Because those nations gotta keep kicking the dough. See that? Go on, brother.
That's like another thing. Because the trade war with China and Japan,
I'm gonna have the old post brother. Come on. Go on.
The trade war with the trade war with China and America, I believe Donald Trump wanted to put a tariff on 200 billion worth of imports from China. China responded, their imports from America, they only managed, they could only put tariffs on about, I believe it was 20 billion, if I'm not mistaken. So you can, America has, they put in 200 billion worth of imports from China, tariffs on 200 billion compared to China's, I think it's 20 or 60. You know, that just shows you how much America actually imports from China compared to how much China takes from America, man. It was not even half the amount. So America is always, because China you get cheap products. The reason why you can go into your shop and buy a shoe and phone at those affordable prices is because all American companies move their production over to China because it's a lot cheaper. They can come and sell it here for a lot cheaper at affordable prices.
And also as well, they also ship their jobs overseas because it's cheaper to pay the people. Because the American people are inquiring for more payment.
Yeah, because you got minimum wage here, you go holiday pay. In China, they'll be paying them like 50p a day, man. You know? Slave labor, man. And that's normal for them. They'll do it.
And it's cheaper. It's really cheaper. Yeah. It's like when you go like for example, if you look at like even like certain news from RT or any form of news engine, you know, that ESO got out there. Like sometimes you'll see people protesting for abusive wage and that kind of sort of thing. So what? So it's better that these companies ship their jobs overseas so that people can actually so that these companies can still make a decent amount of money rather than giving more of their money.
Yeah, reduce their cost.
Reducing their costs. There you go. So that's why they ship these jobs overseas. So let's keep reading now.
Still in Revelation 18.
Yeah.
Revelation 18 verse 13. And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. It says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment,
right,
weeping
because
and
those
wailing.
merchant ships, they're the ones that's bringing over the goods to the country. Like you have those gigantic, I call it what the ship is saying, merchant ships. They bring the goods from one country to another country, and it's just ongoing. And these companies, these merchant ship companies, are making a hell of a lot of money as well at the same time. So they're getting their cake too. Go on, brother.
And saying, Alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught.
Alright, so it says in 1 hour great riches has come to naught because these companies make billions of dollars. They don't make little there and there, little change. No. We're talking about billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. If you actually amalgamate the amount of money that they're making. That's why it says so great riches have come to naught. Because these nations, they won't lose a lot of their money that they've been making. Okay? And then they're gonna result in being poor. And that's a scary ass thing, man. Knowing that, okay, you got billions of dollars, or billions of pounds, or whatever currency that you may be using, and then all of a sudden you're gonna lose all of that just so you can be poor again. Because these nations that are actually making a killing by doing business with America, they were once poor. at one time. China was poor, right? All of these darker nations, and even in Eastern Europe was poor. All right, but all of these nations, that's mainly the nations that are dealing with America, they're going to result in being poor again. All right, and then these same nations that are not on the side here, they're gonna result in being a slave
That's right.
in our society, and they're gonna make us rich. It's the main things that make a nation rich is the ownership of land and also manpower, slaves. These are the two things that pretty much exponentially make a nation or a country rich. All right, go on, brother. And also other natural resources as well. Go on, brother.
And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off.
Those merchant ships that sell the goods that that come from maybe China, Japan, different parts of Europe. So this is what John the Revelator is talking about. He's talking about these people that's going to own these companies, and they're going to trade and do business with America, and also these ship merchants are going to come around and all of that kind of stuff, and they're going to make things work. Okay, but that's all going to be dead and stopped. Read that.
And it says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning.
Right, that's why it says that they cried because of the smoke of her burning. Let's read on.
Saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads.
Right, and
and
they cast dust upon their heads. What does it mean to cast dust upon your head? That was an indication of you mourning. So let's say your loved one passed away or died, right? You would come together and wear sackcloth and cast dust upon your head. Let's get that around Judges. That's what Judges. Yeah, let's get the book of Judges, chapter 3.
It's also, why do you want to kill him? What's all wrong?
Yeah, he's strong, man.
Let's talk like we'll talk.
Yeah, we can't talk, son. We can't talk to him like that.
Why? Why you can't talk?
Come back when you're sober, man.
Yeah, come back when you're sober. You're not there in the head, man.
When you're sober, then you talk.
You're not there in the head. You're drunk.
So what? That's how it goes, man.
Yeah, I get that, but we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like you're saying in the head. We rather talk to you when you're saying in the head. That's our culture.
This is our culture.
Alright, so I think it's
our culture, don't we?
We gotta respect ours.
Of course you, yeah.
So respect us, man. So respect us now.
I respect you, no matter.
You can just let us teach, please.
Well, it should be
Yeah, we're looking at the camera when the man is talking.
This is our country. Well, I respect your country.
Where am I from? Where am I from?
I don't know where you're from.
So how do you know it's not my country?
What are you trying to like? Quran, yeah?
Sorry?
The Quran?
Yeah, it's in,
That's the Bible,
it's in Joshua. Yeah, Joshua 7 and 6.
Yeah,
our cultures is that you want to talk to us, you got to be seen in the head, man. So you're disrespecting our culture.
Listen, you're blocking the camera. You're blocking the camera. The man is
the camera as well.
Cheers, mate. Nice one.
Yeah, so read that.
The man is
All right, it's all right.
So
Thank you.
I'm a bigot.
Yeah, this is I guess so. Go on, bro.
I'm a bigot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Joshua chapter 7
You all
verse
right, man.
6.
Cool. Go on, bro.
And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide.
Also, it's wrong.
He and the elders of Israel have put dust upon their heads.
Right? Right, so yeah, keep going.
You can't talk to me.
Yeah, because you're drunk, man. You're drunk.
So what? So what?
Just come back later. Come back here later, man.
Verse 7.
Because we're teaching something.
And Joshua said, Alas, O Lord power, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us. Would to the Most High we had been content and dwelt on the other side Jordan.
Right, and that's why they were mourning, because what happened was this. Stop. Yeah, so yeah, we did it again.
You're bullshit, not you?
Okay, all right. All right, man. I'm a bullshitter then.
And Joshua said, alas, O Lord power, wherefore hast thou at all brought his people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to the Most High we have been content and dwelt on the other side Jordan.
Right.
O Lord, what shall I say? When Israel turneth their backs before their enemies, for the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it and shall environ us around.
Yeah, and that's why they were mourning, because the Amorites were coming up against them. But the point of the matter is,
Talk to the first people.
the point of the matter is they did was this. The Israelites, what they would do is this: when they went into the morning, they would cast dust upon their head and wear sackcloth. So that's what that's going into. I just wanted to bring that out briefly. So go back
Give
to
me your point of view. Give me your point of view.
Revelation
Oh man,
chapter
just come
18.
back, man. Come back when you sober, man. I'll talk to you when you sober-minded, man. Go on, bro.
Revelation chapter 18. Verse 18. And it says, I cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast the dust on their heads.
This is symbolic of the state that they're going to be in because of what they're going to see. And the amount of money that they're going to lose to business trading.
And cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas,
Get the police.
that
Get the
great
police.
city
Go and get the police. Go
wherein were made rich
Right, in
You're
the
drunk
city
and
that they
disorderly.
were
You're drunk and disorderly, mate.
in the sea by reason of
You're
her
drunk and
coastline.
disorderly.
Right.
For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
Right, in 1 hour she made desolate. How is America going to be made desolate? As we always talk about, by those nuclear bombs and those nuclear missiles as well, as they're going to use. That's right. That's how that land is going to become desolate.
Why not?
This is the main thing that we got to be preaching about. Now, like I said before, we can talk about all kind of different things,
Just have a word with me.
but this is the main thing that the prophets have to speak about.
Drunk and disorderly, man.
Let's get Jeremiah 28 and 8, brother.
Serious, I'll get a police.
There's the police right there. Go.
Jeremiah 28 and
You
8.
seen the community officers? Yeah. The bar.
Book of Jeremiah chapter 28 and 8.
You just come back, man. Come back.
Let him go, man. Ignore him. You're giving him attention. If you see a community officer, just call him and say someone's a bit drunk and disorderly. It's drunk and disorderly behaviour what he's doing.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
Right, and that's what we're here doing. We're here prophesying against Babylon the Great, which is written to be destroyed. So everything that's written in the scriptures, we're supposed to bring these things out.
And it says of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right, and of war and of evil and pestilence. And that's what's getting ready to come. What's getting ready to come in this kingdom is war and pestilence. And famines as well. Alright? As always the prophets did. Okay, we have the prophet Jeremiah, we have the prophet Isaiah, we have the prophet Malachi. They all prophesied about something that the Lord has given them. So what we have now is we have the complete understanding of what to say and what to speak about based on what we've been taught and what we read. So that we bring these things out and publicate this truth. Go on, brother.
And it says, the prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him.
Exactly. So that's how it's going to be known that we're the men of the Lord.